to good evening. Hope you had a good tea coffee break. So welcome to this panel on IoT security. And as I see, many faces in the room are already aware of this. But today we have a very, I should say, eminent panel with quite a diversity inside. And I'm sure that we will have different views on IoT security and how it is important. So before I give some perspective, my name is Vivek Sharma. I am taking care of ST Microelectronics Indian operations. So as many of you may be aware that ST is a semiconductor company, about $7 billion last year. This year will be about $8 billion worldwide. And doing all kind of semiconductors, which is in a way touching security also of IoT at multiple places. So maybe, before I speak about perspective of semiconductors on IoT security, I would like to invite the panelists on the stage. So I start with Himalaya. So please welcome Himalaya here. So Himalaya is relatively the young blood for the panel. So he is head of the university programs in LDRA, which is a software testing company, and quite involved in this field, particularly also related with IoT security. This company is in operation for last 40 years, and Himalaya is with us, and he will be speaking about the software aspects, right? So when we speak of the IoT security, we need to really think holistically. We start from the chips, we go to software, and so on and so forth. So we have an expert here who will be speaking about the security of the software coding. Now let me go further and invite Dr. Sushil Kumar. Sir. You are not doctor? So Mr. Sushil Kumar, so anyway, so he's DDG, Deputy Director General for Telecom Engineering Center, and he is a graduate from IIT Roorkee with more than 25 years of experience, and his focus areas are quite a lot on IoT, related also with the certification of the devices which are coming out of it, and we will hear from him how he is seeing the evolution and what in particular he is doing there. Then let me invite General Kocher. Please, sir. So General Kocher is CEO of the Telecom Sector Skill Council, and he is coming from IIT Delhi, PhD and masters from there, and he has served the army for 40 years. So we really have a veteran here who knows inside of the army, and particularly when new technology is coming in, that how it is getting integrated there. And then he is as well involved in the skill development, which, by the way, when we ask the question that why IoT is not proliferating the way we thought, there are three bottlenecks, they say. First one is related with the security aspect, which we are going to discuss about it, that when we think of IoT, security is one major concern. Second is that there is legacy, and legacy systems are already in place, so we will need to really go to the new things, and when things are working, why to change it? So legacy is the second handicap or the bottleneck or the speed breaker, if you may call. And third one, which is also, 1/3 of the challenge is the skill set needed for the IoT that is also not available. So that's where I think General Kocher is there on our panel to speak about it. And then let me invite on stage Mr. Vipin Tyagi, sir, please. So he's the Executive Director of CDOT. And as we know, CDOT is well known in creating disruptions in the country and bringing the new technologies. Sir?
Disruptions, you said?
Yes.
Positive.
Disruption is always positive, I believe, right?
Security paradigms.
Okay. Yeah. So remembering, from the exchanges and so on, so CDOT is in a way symbol of innovation, what we can bring in the country. And Vipinji, he's coming from IIT Delhi again, and he has been global CEO and has seen different parts of the world, how the evolution is happening, and how India can capitalize really on the innovation locally here. So we'll hear from him the technology, the other policy issues related with the IoT, and how we can think about India taking the leap there. So with that, I think we have all the panelists on stage. So as you can see, that is full of expertise, full of insights, and I am sure it is going to be a very interactive panel. And so the format would be about 10 minutes. Each of the panelists will be speaking about his views, his insights, and then we will open for question and answers there. So before I conclude, I will share with you, starting from the sand, we say sand to cloud is what is needed in IoT. Sand is the chip level, and the cloud is really where we get these services. Maybe a few things I will share. First of all, this year, semiconductors is going to grow by 20% worldwide. So this industry will be becoming $450 billion, which is massive industry. And we feed into electronics, and electronics will grow 5 to 7%. So if electronics is going 5 to 7% and semiconductors is 20%, either price hike should be there, which by the way is the case, right? With the high demand of memories in particular, there is lots of price hike, or ASP, average selling price, is going up. But more importantly, and more longer term, I should say, that the penetration of semiconductors is increasing. Every 2 years, there is 1% more penetration of semiconductors in electronics. Every 2 years, 1% more. Today, the number is about 29%, and it will keep on growing, which is great news for us in semiconductors. But there is also a challenge, because one of the dimensions why this is happening, I should say IoT is also present there. Now, IoT in loose terms is present almost everywhere. But typically, what they say is, if we divide IoT in two segments, let's call one as IoD, Internet of Devices, and IoT, Internet of Things. Devices are which are in our hands. For example, mobile phone is a device where human intervention is still there. A laptop, let's call it as still a device because there is human present. So estimation is that this year there would be about 27 billion put together, and out of which less than 50% would be IoT and more than 50% would be IoD. In next 5 years, this 27 billion connected devices will become more than 50. And more than 65% of that would be IoT, things. So we can feel the challenge already when the things are there. So difference between device and thing is that human intervention is almost zero in things when they communicate. In devices, we are still present. So it means they would be communicating by themselves. Hence, security becomes one of the large issues here. And then let's add further AI on top of it, artificial intelligence, where things will learn on their own. And there is lots of debate, if you have heard these new books which are coming, super intelligence, right, that what it can do. And they say final invention. They are saying for human race, maybe AI is the final invention, the concluding invention. After that, it would be only machines who will be inventing, not us anymore. Controversial things, but nevertheless, one thing is very clear, that AI will have an impact on human or our race, which probably has not happened before, or we are not able to even perceive today. So imagine more than 30 billion devices communicating, and all of these devices are self-learning. So it's scary, and that's where the security aspect becomes even much more important. So hence, believe that from semiconductors point of view, we will do our bit. We will ensure that at the chip level, there is built-in security, that we are able to authenticate and all that. But chip is just one part up to the cloud. There are so many layers. We have software, we have gateways, we have networking here, we have devices there, we have technology here, and we have skill set needed to do so. So once again, let me welcome all the panelists here. And once again, I believe that it is going to be really something which can challenge our thinking, and we can see that what can be done for country. One last point, in India, if we have to grow fast, in my humble opinion, technology is the way. We are too empowered as citizens of India that almost we can do whatever we want to do, right? And if someone stops us in human form is difficult. In technology, it is possible. I travel from Noida to Greater Noida every day in the car, and if we have a traffic police checking what is the speed limit and all, it never cuts down the speed. People still drive fast because you can still manage this way or the other way. But if there are cameras and they click the photo and challan comes to your home, I have seen in that expressway everything has slowed down because there is technology behind. And hence, IoT becomes very appropriate for the country and therefore IoT security. So thank you very much.